So, hi, this may come out funny and I kind of don't care. My intention is to ignite someone else the way I felt ignited just now. I am on nothing. I have had nothing to bring me to this state. This is totally me and my heart and my spirit on fire. And I think this has been building for a while. There is this vision, this dream that I have been holding. It's been maybe a couple years, but the last 1 year, while I have been living in this particular house, this dream has got fire in a different kind of ways, a whole other kind of momentum, because the contrast was most felt. My current reality's contrast I have felt most in living in this particular house, and so it has driven me more and more towards my dream in a more committed, dedicated kind of way, and in a more passionate way. Anyway, long story short, this vision means a lot to me. It's my home in a certain place, in a certain way, and I haven't had a bad life, but it has not been designed by me. I have not made choices in an intentional way. Wow, I am actually, I think, dripping sweat everywhere. So forgive me for the mess that I look like, whatever. And but so I wanted to say that this vision means a lot to me, particularly because it's home, it's my thing, and I have never created anything in particular. I am a mother, so I have created that. I have created my son, but along with, of course, someone else, but that's been a while. And so this home means a lot to me because of who I am. Okay, that's my goal. And this home is both of us. And lately, in the past maybe week, 10 days, this thing has really, this thing about this dream coming to a culmination. It's about to happen. It's the dream itself is way bigger than the way I have lived my life. It's way bigger. It's amazing, but it's also absolutely mine. And it has been calling me. It has been calling me for a while. And it started when I have to tell you this, but it started like a few years back, when I don't know where I do card reading, so I have a ton of card decks. But something I think maybe it was in a reading or somewhere, I don't know, or I watched some video or somewhere. The question arose: what do you really want? What do you really, 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 really want? If you knew that the universe would deliver it as a sure shot, what did you ask for? What did you ask for? So up until that point, you won't believe it, but I kind of didn't have any wants. So I wasn't like enlightened and some sort of elevated state that I didn't want anything. I just didn't know anything. I was not really here. When you're here, you kind of feel the call on the inside where it's asking you to go. When you're here, I think you feel that. So I wasn't really here. I was just kind of going through the motions and the emotions. And but I wasn't really me. I was very identified with whatever I was experiencing. I was completely caged within it. I was caged over here. This has been my cage. But I've also been a caged animal, meaning I have been really big inside a really small cage, and that's how it's been all my life. First, the small cage was my family, then the small cage was my school, the small cage was my relationships. All of it felt small, limiting, constricting, stifling, but I thought that was what life was. We are here to be stifled. And so I was busy myself, stifling myself too. So, so I say that because I just wanted to share a little bit about where I have come from. I'm almost 50 now, and I think this 50th birthday is a big deal. It's a massive, massive, massive deal. You kind of have your Chiron return getting over at this time, so massive amounts of healing has happened with this full moon that's coming up, the Aries full moon, tomorrow, day after. Of course, I don't know how many people will actually watch this because my channel is brand new and I don't really care. This is something I have to do, the rest is not in my control. But with this Chiron full moon, Um, I'm just a year short of finishing up on my Chiron return transit. It's just done forever. That's what happens when you're approaching or just over your 50th year, and so that's what's happening. So, so Pluto stations direct, right? Just before the full moon, and just before the new moon eclipse actually is coming up in October, this end of October, we have Saturn stationing direct, so that's pretty well timed. Healing plus manifestation. So anyway, I have been getting this stronger and stronger, getting whispers from the inside and from outside in my cards, and just messages that are just synchronistically kind of landing in my awareness that this is happening, right? So the reason why it's such a big deal is because it's a big deal in the sense that it's a big deal compared to where I am and who I've been, as in physically how I have lived my life, emotionally, physically how I have identified, with certain perspectives of myself and of life, and the compulsions that I answered to that I thought was me or was necessary to answer or whatever. On the inner level, I have expanded and blown up way beyond who I am currently living as. I am way bigger, way freer, way unhinged than I ever was, and it's like I have kind of jumped out so far out of the box that I can't even see the box anymore. I mean, yes, I live inside the box, but I can't really, it's not really, I am not connected to it anymore, right? It's not my home. So because of that, this house is a big deal. And I think I'm saying all this because I wanted to tell you the nature of what just happened, because otherwise you probably wouldn't understand. So I'm sorry if it's kind of lengthy or whatever, drawn out. Not really sorry, but anyway, you know what I mean. So I put on this song that just jumped in my head, right? Because, like I said, this dream is feeling like it's really about to happen. That's how I'm feeling. Like it's very big and it's driving me insane right now with excitement. But I just feel like it's about to happen. I have no idea. Like, in my current reality, there is no physical thing that has happened that will tell me, okay, now this is about to shift. But I can see kind of things preparing for that. I don't know how else to say it. But like life is preparing me for that. There's going to be this, I don't know, this boom event, and this is going to like take off like a rocket, and I don't think my mind will have much of a chance to deliberate or anything over what I have to do next. I think it'll just make itself happen through me. Anyway, because I'm a big overthinker, second guesser of my own decisions and all, and that's been my trauma, right? So, I have never felt seen. My family never really saw me, never really heard me or knew how I felt and all. And it's not their fault, it's not about blame. It's just the way things were. And they were going through their own trauma, and we just keep passing that on to others, right? To our next generation or our peers or God knows where else we put it and people get it and whatever. So anyway, I have gone through my Chiron is in the first house. So so I have been fully identified with my trauma. So because of all of the stuff that I've gone through for all these past years, I mean, till my 40th year, I was actually not at all free. Post my 40th year, I have been, slowly, steadily discovering who I am and breaking free of certain stuff. Anyway, so there's so much stuff. Like, this is also another thing I have. There's so much to say. But anyway, so I put on this music. It just dropped into my head, and I put on this song, very old song, probably 90s or something, by Amber, called "This Is You and I." And what a blessing that song is. Not all of what she's saying, or probably the context with which she's made the song or singing the song applies to me. Not all of that, but I feel like it fits my situation so well with this house that I'm manifesting. And as I put on the song and I started dancing, I mean, I suggest that you put on some song that makes you throw your head around, like it turns you into a headbanger and makes you throw your hair around, doesn't let you care how you look, who's watching, where you go insane and you're like completely unhinged, and it's like you're on something and you're really high. something that does that to you on its own, like this, you know, your drug, that music, just put it on and go nuts, right? If you feel like it, of course, but just, you know, kind of like a, you know, I'm trying to just set fire to something inside of you in the most amazing way. So I've never experienced this before. Yes, I am a crazy kind of a dancer when I put on some music and I'm on my own and I love it. I do kind of, you know, go crazy. But this was different because this was connected to my dream. I kept feeling like it was like rising inside of me, like physically this dream is happening. And something just popped and spoke to me this way. I don't know how else to say it. Maybe it's the Mars position, like something inside me has caught fire. It's just like, it's kind of like interface with me and my spirit, my fire, my whatever, the masculine, you know, within me that was dead all this time, and it was just angry and nothing else. Angry, afraid, and confused. That's how my masculine was. So I think because that is healing, probably is true for all of us with Chiron going through Aries. But that's why probably Mars is so special right now, because he's what is healing. Even as he's in Gemini, which I don't think it's the best place for Mars. But anyway, so it doesn't matter. But, you know, I feel like he's kind of like, we are having this conversation, me and this masculine part of me, the desire, passion, heart energy, whatever you want to call it, just the fire inside me, the courage inside me, the thing that says fuck you to everything that wants to imprison me, whether it's inside my head or outside, you know, it doesn't matter, whatever. The thing that lets you take risks for your I don't know, for your truth and to like for your freedom. It just comes out of love and self-honor and stuff like that, right? I don't know. I think it's probably happening to most people. Maybe they know it, maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe this would help in some way if somebody happens to watch it. I don't care. But like I feel like my masculine has just come up and just spoken to me this way. That's how I feel. Like I've been set fire to, right? So I danced and danced and danced. I'm alone in the house right now, so I can. So I went crazy. I put on this music. It was on loop. 3-4 times it played. I lost it. I was cooking something, so I had to go and keep checking on it. But at some point, I was so completely like ecstatic and just crazy. Completely like I was in a crazed place, exactly like I was on something that had got me high. But I don't do that. I don't do drugs, right? I don't even drink really, not really. Anyway, I don't do any of that stuff, right? So at some point, I started crying. And even as I was crying, I was also laughing. And you know how that is when those two things are mixed up. You know something is happening inside of you, right? Something is just unleashing and purging and is on fire at the same time. All of it, like all the elements are going crazy inside of you. This, I don't know, something is unraveling, right? It was magical. It was magical. I don't know whether you're ready for that right now, whether it's time for you or no, but there's nothing to lose. So set fire to your insides, put on the music that you love, and get into an alone space or something, if that's what you need, and just go crazy. Just go crazy, dance like, whether you like, you know, when nobody's watching, or you like that everybody's watching, and you're dancing like nobody's watching, even when you know everybody's watching, something like that. Get to that place if you want to. As I was dancing, it kept coming to me that, you know, my family or people I have known or I have had relationships with, bad ones, they're all looking at me, you know, that's how I felt. And I was self-conscious for a second. And then so I tried to push them out of my mind and whatever. And then I was like, no, look at me, people. I started yelling inside my house on my own. Look at me, this is me, you've never seen me. And I was yelling, I wasn't saying softly like that, I was yelling at the top of my voice. Look at me, I kept banging my heart like this, and I kept saying, this is me, you've never seen me before. You've never seen me before. And I'm 50 years old, and nobody's seen me. Nobody knows me. Not really, nobody. Nobody really knows who I am. So maybe, you know, most of us feel that way, I don't know, but if you do, try this and see if it catches fire inside of you, this little ritual, and set your inner child free. You know, let her go crazy, let her be herself, let her make mistakes, and let her ask you for what she wants and say yes to her. Forgive her if she bugs you or she is scared when you don't want to be scared. She's scared. Let her be scared. Set her down and say, don't worry, I got you. And do what you're scared of anyways. Take risks. Let your masculine heal. Speak your truth. You know that you've been hearing everywhere, right? So speak your truth. Express yourself. And make choices that align to where you want to go and who you have become or are becoming rather than who you have been. And I think it's a time where most relationships are going to come apart. I think so, because all of us have been so inauthentic and angry in a repressed way. All of that is going to come out. That anger, as it purges and it wants to make you more authentic, it's not going to let you settle, compromise, make plastic peace with people is what I call it. Plastic peace. I've done that all my life. I think we do that all the time. I think I've done that with my life. Like, I have gotten along with things that were absolutely either they were completely irrelevant and I didn't resonate with and I didn't know what the hell it was, right? I would try to understand it and incorporate it into my life, because someone else was doing it. But actually it meant nothing for me. It just took up space. So if something has taken up space inside of you and you didn't say no to it, anger is going to come up. Shame, is going to come up. If you feel violated on the inside but you don't say it, all that is going to come up. All the things that violated you, raped you, so to speak, right? Not necessarily physically, but whatever way you felt raped throughout your life, or you felt shut up, silenced, or you didn't say no. That's very important, to be able to say no to that which terrifies you and tells you, if you say no to me, so and so will happen because I'm a protector. That is something that I've had a lot of trouble with. I want to say no to what is promising me safety, because I'm not here to buy safety at the cost of my freedom. My freedom is my safety. Nothing is worth it if you're not free. Sooner or later, you're going to realize that there's nothing quite as delicious as simply being you and loving everything about you and letting you be a child and a parent at the same time. Being you and your partner at the same time. Being your best friend. You know how that is. So have it really solid with you in here, and it will be really solid with everyone else that you want to be with. Yeah. Be your home. I love you. I hope it helped.